guys. Okay, so we're going to get into this ultra powerful new moon in Leo and how you can use it for you. This is a super powerful new moon. It is triggering, but that is what's powerful about it because we can use these triggers to really step into more of our full embodiment. I actually love this new moon. And hi, if you don't know me, my name is Jenna. I talk about astrology and energy updates here and manifestation. I like to give you all the tools that you need so you can jump onto the higher timelines because we are constantly manifesting our reality all the time. And I want to give you the best possible outcome and how you can use this energy to manifest your best reality. All right, so we got the sun and the moon in Leo, which I love. Leo energy is all about being bold, courageous. It's about living from your heart. It's play, it's your self-expression, it's creativity, but it's also how we radiate and shine out in the world, how we can really get in touch with our purpose. And we all individually know how to shine. We got to go towards our joy and what's really fun to us. Like, what do we do that feels exciting, that makes us uplifted, makes us go up in vibration? That is Leo stuff. And that's what we're majorly getting in tune with. But with this opposition of Pluto, there's some intensity here. With Pluto and Aquarius, it's poking at us. We might face off with some sort of power struggle or some sort of trigger externally. And this could be like a fear of being judged or something, but something might really trigger us that gives us kind of a ego death, which is kind of nice because wherever our ego has been keeping us safe, has actually been blocking off from our bigger essence and our higher self. So what we need to do is, let this trigger happen because this is going to show us where we even built up the ego in the first place that actually wasn't serving us. It was the false identity that wasn't serving us. And wherever the trigger happens, it's where we need to release the shame, the frustration, the rage, the hurt, the guilt, the humiliation, the fear, some sort of dense emotion that's been stuck in our body that needs to get triggered and it needs to get released because that vibration can't come with us if we want to go into that higher identity and that higher version of us and the easier life where we can just flow and be more in contact with our higher self and being the better version of ourselves. So all we need to do is when we get triggered is really feel it in our body. We need to bring awareness to it and we don't need to label it. This is where, we usually go wrong because, if you go to therapy or what, usually you just you blame somebody else. You say it was this person's fault. You say it was the breakup, the divorce, my mom and dad, you put it outside of yourself. Instead, what you actually need to do is just bring it back to yourself. And you need to bring it back to your own self-love. And that's actually what releases it. And I know, I went through this, this week, and I didn't even realize, what I was doing to, heal myself. But, I got triggered. This Mars on the South Node was no joke. It was, I got triggered and it was exactly what I needed because I know triggers are for your benefit. And as soon as I got triggered, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting empowered now. I'm going to go to hot yoga. I'm going to mantra stuff in my head that makes me feel really, really powerful and into this new version of me that is powerful and not looking outside for validation. And that is coming to the table with the right energy of being self-empowered and not playing small anymore. So I went to the hot yoga. I did the mantra thing in my head. And I swear to God, I quantum leaped in the yoga class. It was a 60-minute yoga class. I swear to God, it seemed like it was only 20 minutes. But I mantraed. And it wasn't just my affirmations. I ended up calling in the dragons actually to get rid of primordial fear. and then it just worked. The yin yoga, you hold positions for 2 minutes to 5 minutes at a time. And you just it's more so about just shedding, I really did feel just a lot of the fears and a lot of the just internal blocks just leaving. And that was with the South, Mars on the South Node too. So I think it was extra powerful then. But I like after the yoga class, it was like I was in a whole different universe. Like all the blocks that were normally there, like I just felt freer. Oh, I was mentoring to opening up my heart too, because I wanted it all the way open. I wanted more love. I wanted more compassion for myself and for the world. And I wanted to be a more embodied, loving version of myself because I know that's where the power is. So I did that. And like everything that I would worry about, before, like normally after the class you go back to the regular like schedule and whatever you're doing, like it was kind of different after the class. I just had a whole different perspective shift where it's like so much more freedom, and it's so hard to explain unless you really go through some sort of intense internal clearing like that. But I'm gonna go again tonight, and I'm probably gonna go every day this week because it felt that good, and it kind of felt like being on drugs a little bit. So that was, kind of fun. I definitely recommend hot yoga and go late at night if it's really, really hot in the summer, wherever you're at. And that's where the power is with this full moon. It's letting it go. It's letting go of all the feelings, all the ways we felt the way we did in the past. So we can be more so here and the now in the present and be that most empowered version of us. So we can be that true version of ourselves with a wide open heart because we owe that to ourselves. We want to break out of any of the family ancestral blocks and loops that our parents could have done better. And whoever put the damage on us, like we don't need to hold that. They like the more faster we can shed that and be that better version of ourselves that is connected to just the unconditional love and source and being our higher selves on a daily basis and showing that love to others. That is how we can be the most powerful, and we owe that to ourselves. So allow this to spark the rage, because this is just showing where we weren't allowing ourselves to fully receive the abundance of the universe. And your power has always been inside of you. It has never been outside of you. It's just time for you to get back into your heart and open it back up, because most people have a closed heart, in this society, and it's easy to keep your heart closed. You got to open it back up, and you have to be very, very conscious to keep it open. So for this, I really do like gratitude, heart meditations, balancing out the mind and the heart. And did you guys know that's really how you just amplify your own frequency out into the world? So, you input your frequency on everybody else. It's just gratitude. You put your hand on your heart, you feel gratitude, you breathe with the pulses, and you get out of your mind so you can just be in your heart. Your heart knows what's coming before the mind does. Your heart just has more of that knowing and more of the interconnectedness of all that is, and it can't be programmed. So get into your heart with love and compassion with this full moon and breathe. And I definitely, recommend like just some sort of like exercise or sweating it out too, like, the hot yoga thing I did. I mean, it was amazing. What's also powerful about this new moon is the Saturn and Neptune trine. And this is where we're taking seriously for the long term that higher vision of ourselves that we really want to step into. But we have to recognize, what's falling away because Saturn and Neptune are retrograde. So there's certain beliefs and certain fantasies and certain ways of being that we're letting go of that weren't really truly aligned with us, because we can build an identity out of, a fantasy, out of the wounds, even, and not from that place of true self-love. The more you can build this from that place of true self-love and knowing that you already have it, knowing that you can already be embodied, it's more about just shedding and letting go, then that really empowers you the most, because this is how we're setting ourselves free from the system. Because the only way that we can set ourselves free from the current system, because a lot of people try to fight the systems and the structure, and they think that's how how change is going to happen, but change isn't really going to happen that way. Change happens when we get more embodied, when we get into that creator mode, and when we can create above the systems and the structures that have been limiting us. So we don't even need to pay attention to the current structures. All we really need to do is go within and get in touch with our higher self. And that's where we're going to get the plan. These were all the roles that we took on that were societally acceptable, and we got praise, and we got just enough reward, but never enough to fully get us out of the structure. This is our time where we can really exit the loop and have that full transformation. And the way that we do that is, I don't know, getting off the algorithm. You get programmed with your algorithms, and that's how they program you now. And TV, like you got to get your own algorithm and your own mindset from going within and activating, and creating yourself away from the external structures. You have to go within, connect with your higher self, and visualize your higher self, and realize you are multifaceted and you are multidimensional. And that is where you'll envision the future that is exactly right for you, instead of following any outside of path and any outside program that is just another game that's set up. This is where we can stop trying to win the game that was always set up, because that game we will never win. And I just realized the other day, it was such a simple thing. But once I heard it, I'm like, how have I never thought of this before? Okay, so I'm going to say it. The fiat system. So that was a game that we could never, never, never win, because what they do is they print out money, and you take the money, but the money is interested. They put interest on the money. They never print out the interest. There's no and all the money has interest upon interest upon interest now. So there is no possible way for anybody to pay off the debt, whether it's a country, whether it's personally, whether it's there's absolutely no way to pay off the debt. The whole system was made to keep people enslaved. So it's kind of like that, where you have to awaken to get above this system, to recognize that was nothing that you could ever win, so you can only win by going within and awakening yourself and empowering yourself, just so you can take your energy and your precious focus, that is what creates worlds, and direct it in the right direction for you. And you will find the loopholes. You will find the direction where you can be the most empowered and where you can create your world the best. But you have to claim your energy and your attention back for yourself. You are the structure. You are the system. You are the entire universe that has everything within you to create everything externally. But you got to go within in order to create the external in an even more powerful way. And how we actually do this too is focusing on alignment and feeling good. That's why I do certain affirmations or listen to music to feel good before I do anything, like feeling that joy, feeling that excitement, and then going about my day. And things just change. Like I love Uranus and Gemini too. And I've been using this to like poke holes in current beliefs, and you can do it in a fun way. You can you can just banter and like kind of do a skit with like, oh, you still believe in this current structure that's going on here, and this, okay. Like, and then you just like be playful with it, with sharing a new perspective, so you can break other people out of old programs that are very, very limiting. And that's kind of a fun way to do it. So I love how there's this sextile to Uranus and Gemini too, because this is us seeing a new perspective. This is getting back into our play and our curiosity. And, I think again, it's all about frequency. This is our alignment with our true core frequency that we are embodying even more in a more powerful way and allowing it through. I love how Mars is in Virgo here for this too, because we can create routines and plans and structures that support this flow, the flow of feeling good. Because that's the number one thing, is feeling good. So you let that source flow through you so it doesn't stop, so you don't block yourself off in your ego. and keep yourself contained, because it's time to break out of the boxes and be, step into this new embodiment and enjoy the mystery of becoming somebody we've never been before. And we get to do it in a fun way. Okay, so for your sun, moon, or rising, I do suggest you look at the sun, especially since this has to do with Leo. And, this is a Leo new moon where we're really recognizing our soul, our life force, our core identity, our purpose, even our career, but also what really makes us shine, what makes us vital. So look at your sun, because this is, your bigger career and direction and soul purpose. As you get older, you just become more and more and more like your sun sign, and that is the goal. You want to become your sun sign, because that is the most powerful placement for you to end up in. But this kind of shows us where we can be more soulfully aligned with that long-term life direction and where we're going. And yeah, it has to do with themes with your career, your calling, your sense of purpose, where you can take the lead in your life. And yeah, so your moon, you want to look at your moon sign, because that's the anchor of our emotions and perceptions in this reality. So this is how we perceive reality. It's our emotional body. And sometimes we're not fully aware of our, the stories that we're telling ourselves. So we can be more conscious of the stories that we're telling ourselves. So we become conscious of the repeating patterns. So we recognize where's the good, where's the bad. And that's kind of, a very holistic alignment to have to pay attention to, because, it's how we filter reality. And, the more aware of that we are, it can only do better things and help us manifest a better, reality for us too. And then your rising is, oh wait, let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, your moon is your personal life. Your moon is your personal life. So if there's anything going on with your personal life and home and family, definitely look at your moon sign, because that's going to be an accurate prediction for that. And look at your rising sign for the objective point of view. If there's somebody else looking in at your life, they see you as your rising sign. It's kind of how you move through life. If events happen, it is, your rising sign that is the most accurate, because to the rest of the world looking in, you quit your job, you got in a relationship, you moved, whatever. It's, that's why looking at the rising sign is usually the most accurate with the immediate events that are kind of going on in your life. And it's how people perceive you. Okay, so let's get through all the signs. Hi, Leo. Okay, so this is a nice alignment with yourself, your identity, who you truly are. Not just on the surface, though, who are you at that deeper core level, that nobody can ever take away from you. And we've done a lot of healing work, so there's been a ton of releasing already, and we are stepping into a bold new identity, and this is us planting the seeds. So this is a really powerful full moon to do that identity work, and then at the same time get into alignment into alignment with your hopes and your dreams and your visions for the future, because there could be connections coming your way that are opening up your world. Or there could be just information, or just kind of like a whole new way of, seeing what you really want to go after and whatever you're magnetized towards, that can open up a whole new perspective with who you want to be, and how can you be that fully empowered version of yourself to, accept all these opportunities. Because that's the only thing, is you just have to embody yourself to the next level. So I love this opposition with Pluto, because there will be people. The seventh house is significant relationships. It's one-on-one relationships. So it could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be business, it could be a client, somebody that comes in to really that you might get triggered from. But this is going to help you. This is showing you where where you've been suppressing yourself, where you've contained that rage or that guilt or any of those emotions in your body, where you can set them free. It's time for, that's your permission to step into more of your embodiment and who you truly are, and to open up your heart more. I almost wrote it. What did I write down? I just read it, actually. Yeah, it's kind of like, what can you let go of so you can open up again in a more powerful way? People shine brighter after they've gone through the dark stuff, and then they've healed in a more brilliant and powerful way, and they've let themselves step up and go through that transformation. That's how a star is made. So, and with Neptune and Saturn in the ninth house, this is really getting us focused on our beliefs, on our overall direction that we're stepping up into. This is our overall vision that we want to manifest, that we believe we can manifest. So has there been any limiting beliefs that have been stopping us? Have we been believing in something that's false? Have we, how can we get into alignment with something that really works when it comes to a belief structure that is powering us up? When it comes to beliefs, we just got to focus on that vibration. Is it uplifting? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling like we want to go conquer the world? That's all we need to know. That's all we need to get in touch with. Anything that's keeping you into your small self, into your ego self, into a way of validating any victim stories, that's not a belief system that I would recommend, So, but yeah, Neptune's here. So we can see a bigger, brighter vision. We can see how we can be that shinier version of ourselves, and how we can create that reality. And also when it comes to our meaning and purpose in life, what is our purpose? Because we need to take that seriously. We need to work towards that and become embodied, that higher version of ourselves that is fully embodied with a wide open heart, to step into that vision also. And that's the only way we're going to be able to do it, is if we're really healed, if we've let all the shit go, if we're letting ourselves release all the karma, which, at the end of the day, it's all about keeping your heart open, having more love and compassion, and being in the present moment and being excited for the new. So I love this full moon. And that's it. So the cards that came out for you, the Orphan, yeah, there might be something that has to do with just a deep, even family story that we can release, because Pluto does rule your fourth house. Family can come in and just like trigger you all the way deep. And the father wound came out too. So, of course, everyone was like, it's rare that there wasn't a completely healed father, well, in the past, the father that has the light in the dark, that could have stepped onto a higher path and shined brighter and everything. But how can we claim our own masculine energy with recognizing the light and the dark? Because that's going to, give us our full power, so we can be fully embodied and choose the light and choose the dark, to just to have awareness around it, just so we can keep on choosing the light and keep on choosing to open our heart, and have our stories and everything that empower everybody else with what we've gotten over. But at the end of the day, we get to power up our own masculine energy and step into more of that embodiment in that story that we truly choose. But I love this because air and fire, it's all Aries momentum, fire is energy. So we are definitely getting a lot of energy, with this, and we're going to be able to act on all these new ideas and have the momentum to go and everything. But definitely robotically affirm with this too. And let's see, I want to read Singled, actually. Singled is all about gratitude and using that to get over the resentments and the jealousy and all of that. So the father is the great father, the masculine, the protector, alongside the mother, the father. This is, just us allowing us. The Father is where we can step into our own masculine energy, to be our own protector, to give ourselves that permission to really step up for ourselves. And I'll read it. The Father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The Father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the Father is often absent, literally or emotionally, through absence or action. The Father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and the one who leaves us to the wolves. Here yet gone, the champion and the failure. The Father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witness the Father's limitations, allow the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. So, yeah, healing that masculine energy so you can have that more powerful masculine energy in this story that you're creating. And then healing our inner child with the orphan. So this is definitely like our origin story that we're getting in touch with. Every hero has to have an ego check, so they get aligned with what truly matters. And this is kind of what's happening for us. So the orphan, the wounded child that abandoned the beggar. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refuge crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from our planets or from parents, and Earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage. God, yeah, we are. Of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in presence of the feelings. This card stirs in you. Let it humble. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly the most needed thing, dear one. So when light, deep solace, acceptance, deep love, when dark, distance, hates and avoids controlling, limiting. Yeah, so we're healing our inner child so we can get in touch with our gift that we have always been meant to give to the world, but we probably shut off because of whatever reasons. There's a million reasons why we shut off our gifts and we block off our own inner child and we get too serious in life. So access this archetype through creative acts like drawing, painting, or writing. Keep it simple. Ask the orphan what it wants to draw. Okay, so yeah, get into your creative gifts. That's also what's going to be really, really healing. Because it does get you into your inner child. And when you do that, you can just have more love and open-heartedness and compassion. And like how to move forward with moment. It gives you that creative energy to move towards, which it's kind of like a carrot on the stick. It opens you up more and more and more to your higher self and more and more and more to love. All right. Thank you so much, Leo. Why did I do that? I love you guys, Leo. I'm so excited for this for us, God. All right, Virgo, this is a spotlight happening in your 12th house. And your 12th house has to do with the subconscious mind, with what's hidden. It's where we face all of our own blocks and limitations that we put on ourselves. And we will forever be evolving out of these. We are so deeply programmed. It will, we have to consciously break out of these. Like, why haven't you been doing this? Like, why haven't you been doing that? It's because like we've been limiting ourselves in some way. There might be just something where we haven't been more aware to create, or where we just have been getting in our own way. So what I love this is kind of highlighting your subconscious and your higher self so you can get more in touch with your heart and your passion. What is that passion that is within you that you do want to bring out, and what can you burn away that has been keeping it within you instead of bringing it externally. And this opposition of Pluto, there might be somebody at work that's triggering. There might be something about your everyday life that just needs to be changed up, some sort of routine or health habit that can be improved. But this would be like, this would highlight it. This would show you what needs to transform for you to get more of your power back, because you need powerful routines with your health and with your work and with the people that you work with every day, so you can be in ultimate creator mode, and following your authentic path. I do love how there's a sextile to Uranus here, because that's your inner world is giving your inner world is being highlighted, and it's showing you more of your authentic path. With Uranus in the 10th house, you're meant to be, a rebel and a trailblazer, and you're meant to be unique, and just following that magnetic push towards something that, opens up your world and that opens up your curiosity. So this might even be a passion project that you're working on behind the scenes, and then it just leads you to one thing, to another thing, to another thing. And it's like, bam, you're recognizing a whole new way to be out in the world. And definitely follow that curiosity, really see where it takes you. And I love this trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house. There could be old roles or identities that you've taken on in certain relationships. The 8th house is how we deal with other people in very deep ways. And it can be, just, and it can be, just like deep family stuff. This is where we also like suppress our emotions. Resentments, fears, guilt. So you are being opened up in a really big way. You're recognizing the identities that you've taken on that maybe weren't, connected to that highest version of you, that you did take out of guilt or shame, or just because everybody else was doing it, where you can actually have a big release now. You can be like, bring more love and acceptance to yourself. So what roles you want to take on, what structures you want to build when it comes to merging with others, and how you can have more of that unconditional love for yourself and everybody else to really set you free from any karmic ties, because the 8th house is where we can release those karmic ties so we can get in those higher level soulmate connections. So for you, the mountain, you're recognizing where you're putting your time and your energy and what role and identity you want to take on to climb that mountain. The 8th house is very important because that's where your time and you're investing your time and your energy. So you got to put boundaries around it, so what mountain you want to climb and what you want to go after. And then mother came out. So you might be healing some mother wounds, or you might be needing some time to get into that feminine energy for more of that empowerment. So definitely spend some time getting in touch with that divine feminine energy, which will bring more love and compassion to yourself, so you can free yourself from the things, so you can be a better creator, because there's something within you that definitely wants to be nurtured. So you can find this ultimate expansion out in the world. And so you can recognize that pearl within you that you actually always had. It's just about shedding to really recognize what you already have, what it takes to climb that mountain. Okay, and Morrowind came out, so I'm going to read this dragon. So only you are the master of your destiny. Morrowind is an awesome character, hugely powerful and all-encompassing. He will open doors, put people in situations in your path, which all lead to you living your most divine purpose. It is his responsibility to guide you to fulfill the contract he made with Spirit before coming to Earth for this carnation. He says, you are the one in power. Accept it as your own. Only you are the master of your destiny. Yeah, so you're recognizing a bigger destiny and a bigger soul contract that you're going after. His message is clear, so ignore him at your pearl. You have to, I love dragons. You have a job to do, so let's get on with it. You have the tools and the knowledge you need. Your self-doubt hinders you. Your time is now. The world needs you to see your light. Step into your heart, and I will take the journey with you. He continues, your role is to take your light into the world with me as your guide. Together, we are the master creators. As you discover your life purpose, acknowledge your fears and self-doubt, but do not be bound by them, for they cloud your truth. Follow your heart, feeling your way with truth and integrity. And that's what you're majorly getting into alignment with, your own inner truth and integrity, and the contract that you're getting in tune with. You're not going to be able to ignore it because you're meant to do it, and it's going to keep on nudging you to do it. And I love Uranus in the 10th because it's like putting people and opportunities into your world so you can just go, the top can come off in your world and you can go explore. But I also see how this, the tree of life is on here too. So you might be going through a mini just awakening, Kundalini awakening possibly, but just more of you being activated for sure with this Leo full moon. Definitely, I don't know, if there's a hot yoga, I definitely recommend it, but anything to kind of get your body moving. And yes, self-care, self-love, to your body with this full moon is very important. All right, thank you so much, Virgo. Hi, Libra. So this is a whole new beginning in your 11th house, which is all about your hopes and your dreams and your visions for the future. And are they authentically yours, or are these dreams that, have just been culturally approved, or something that all your friends are doing? Because with this opposition of Pluto, you're recognizing a deeper soul passion that you want to go after. And what your soul really meant to express in this lifetime. And it's calling you. There might be an obsession or some sort of passion, that you can go through a process where you're transforming yourself by creating, and expressing yourself in different ways. And maybe there's even like a twin flame that comes into your life, or, a strong soulmate connection that you're obsessed with that leads you to what you're supposed to be doing also, because that happens. So transformation through love can happen. But yeah, you're finding a balance with this, there might be, some sort of trigger from a relationship that like just makes you realize where you have been acting out of your ego when it comes to connecting with friends or going after your hopes and your dreams. But this is powerful. You can recognize where you can be in true alignment with, that core of your being, to align with the right people and plant the seeds for this new beginning for your hopes and your dreams for the future. And with connecting with like-minded people that are also bold and inspiring and shiny and not afraid to be confident and radiant, out in the world. And yeah, because I love Saturn and Neptune, you're going through an adjustment when it comes to your relationships, and, which ones maybe you put on a false identity to just connect with. But you're recognizing, and maybe you had rose color glasses with one of them with a relationship, but you could see a little bit clearer now. You're recognizing, who's coming with you for the long term too. You can have very solid partnerships, as long as you're evolving out of the karma and recognizing where like those relationships are truly in alignment, and they're inspiring you to be bigger and bolder, and, inspiring you to really live from the heart instead of thinking everything out. Because I like the sextile to Uranus in the 9th. There is like awakening happening here. There's new beliefs, there's new ways of perceiving the world, and you might be shifting your worldview to more oneness. So you can open up all the opportunities that are actually available to you. So you're definitely getting in touch with the oneness, unity, creator consciousness, which is actually really important to do for you to be a master creator out in the world. With Pluto in the 5th, you better be creating something because you are very powerful with creating. There's definitely gifts from past lifetimes that are coming online right now, but you got to use it. You got to actually express that creative energy and see, where it takes you. And it'll make you go through this transformation where you will be more charismatic, you will be very magnetic, and you will attract more people into your orbit that are really meant to be there. And you got Merlin, so I'm going to read Merlin. I like Merlin because, he is a wizard and he reminds me of the magician. He can create, he manifests, really, really well. So let me read it. Merlin, continue your journey discovering what you need to learn and understand and own. Merlin the dragon, to give him his full name, is an incredibly large and sage old dragon whose message is one of teaching and learning. He has found his way into your reading today. His message is not all things are as they seem. Some are images being reflected back to you in order for you to understand discernment and to learn lessons of self-trust. Only once you have done this, you will discover how to stand in your own power and own who you truly are. So yeah, there's definitely mirrors in relationships coming to you to kind of like maybe poke holes in your false ego so you can recognize who you truly are and learn the lessons that you need to learn. And again, wherever the trigger is where you've been repressing your true self, where you didn't want to share out of frustration or rage, guilt, just whatever, was stuck in your body, or you were afraid. Like, you can recognize this so you can free yourself and just allow yourself to be more of your authentic self. Also, you might be invited to like teach or something. The ninth house is about teaching and podcasting and publishing. I think this could be a powerful moment where you're starting, a book or something, and, actually starting the project. So you can find, innovative ways to just put it out in the world and go after it. And maybe you receive like a download of knowledge if you're connected to the oneness, and you can, create something in a really fast and brilliant way. Let me finish reading it though. The Grand Master dragons are able to shapeshift between their dragon and human or angelic form. In whichever guise he adopts, Merlin is the teacher of teachers, so heed his wise counsel. You are unable to teach others until you fully understand the lesson yourself. Yeah, you got to have that inner standing, that's for sure. You really do, because you'll hear something, especially when it comes to spiritual stuff, over and over and over again. And then you have that inner understanding, and it's just like, oh, Um, Okay. Once you have mastered these, you are in a position of clarity and ownership and can share your wisdom with integrity and power. Until then, hold your tongue and continue your journey. Discover what you need to learn, understand, and own. Only then will you be able to be in a place of authority to share your knowledge with others. If you notice that owls keep crossing your path, know that Merlin is around and willing to share his infinite wisdom with you and show you what you need to learn. He will stretch you and often answer questions with another question, encouraging you to seek the answers from within. He is not an easy grand master to work with, but he will guide you well. I know. Because they always say like a guru like fucks with you until you learn, because you have to learn through life experience. A teacher teaches, a guru will fuck with you. So you learn. And that's funny. I had owls outside my window last night, so that's interesting. But yeah, there is some sort of deep knowing that you already have that might be put to the test right now. And you can evolve out of any of those kind of lessons. So you can get into your own oneness, your own connection to source, and your own self-trust. So you can really, truly know what is best for you in this higher direction that you're going in. And that's how you'll receive the vision with where you're going in the future too, and who you're connecting with. All right. Thank you so much, Libra. All right, Scorpio, this is planting seeds for your 10th house, which is all about your career, your legacy, your image, who you are out in the world. And this is just a time to make yourself, have a glow up, be bolder, be brighter, be more courageous, be more open with your heart out in the world, because that's how you can really truly step into your authority, is not letting any of these family wounds hold you back anymore. With this opposition of Pluto, maybe you are getting triggered from family or something. And they're like, you want to do what and why, or, who knows what, but you recognize that is where you've been letting those wounds from the deep past hold you back instead of letting yourself evolve into your full power. Because you can be really powerful out in the world. You have deep, deep roots that, that are planted, and you just have to give yourself permission to shine brighter, be greater, be more courageous, be more authentic, be more aligned with your heart and your passions and your soul and what you really came here to do. And Uranus in the eighth house, this is like shaking up where you're putting your time and your energy, and this area of life could be completely revolutionized, really shaking away old contracts, whether it is business or like soul contracts that you are finished with. This could be like, you needing to pay attention to your finances so you get reorganized, and maybe you do go in a inventive, futuristic new way to invest your money, to have more power. And this can also just be, shaking away all the ways that where you limited yourself, out of where you did have those dense emotions, like, resentment, frustration, hurt, guilt, fears that were really stuck, in your body, that can be really just shaken out now. So you don't let the fears or the doubts hold you back from doing what you really, really want to do. So this is a powerful new moon to plant the seeds with who you want to be out in the world. You can update your image, your business card, you can start that business. This is at least you getting that inner awareness with your core, with what you want to start out in the world, that overall long-term direction that you want to go in, that will be the most empowering to you and the most representative of who you truly are. And yeah, be in alignment with that. So with this trine to Saturn and Neptune in the sixth house, it's all about having that self-care, that self-love, the routines, the diet that is really going to be supportive for this long-term direction. Because so easily these days we can get stuck into work mode and being on all the devices or whatever for so long. But the way that you can be consistently powerful out in the world is really by taking care of yourself and having these routines that are really, really empowering, and getting rid of all the ones that you thought would be empowering but ended up not being. So you can have that structure that is really good for you. So let's look. The sword came out. So you might have just a lightning strike of an idea that comes your way that, really just kind of sets you off in a certain direction. And a philosopher, I want to read this. Look at that crazy green dragon. So you should follow that which you seek in your heart. That's all. That's how, don't go the logical route, with Leo ruling the 10th house. You want to follow what's in your heart. You are getting rid of the ego and all the identities that society said, oh, you should do this role because, I don't know, that's just a role that everyone else does. But go with what feels good to your heart. Definitely do that mind heart meditation, get into your heart, listen to beats, and choose with your heart, with where you're going overall long term. Okay, this wise old dragon is all about learning in the direction of your life, in the direction your life is taking. This can be in your 3D physical world or on a metaphysical level. He shows up when you have been considering taking up any kind of study, whether you are returning to or continuing with formal education or undertaking a personal or spiritual development. He came to me bringing a strong connection to Galileo and to the planets in the solar system in mathematics and science. He says one is never too old or young to learn. Set your sights high and reach for the stars, for you have much to gain and or to gain from, and to reveal your learning partners, with Jupiter in the ninth house. You can be going back to school. Actually, there is a bigger worldview or philosophy or vision that you can, start right now that would be way, way more world expanding. So definitely look into, traveling or philosophy or learning, because that could open up your world in a whole new way. He has a particular affinity with the stars and constellation. He sounds like an astrologer. Associated with people learning the old arts such as astrology, scrying, divination, as well as the sciences. He goes on to say, you have been putting that off from which you want to learn. Your self-doubt hinders you from following your passion. In your true path, your affinity with the old arts is the starting point of your journey. Take this as notice that you should follow that which you seek in your heart, for only then will you truly tread on the steps of your destiny. His presence allows us to navigate the world in our chosen direction. He becomes our compass, our guiding star. Okay, so yeah, big emphasis on getting aligned overall with your meaning and purpose in life and your overall mission. And you will get that from your heart. You just follow your heart, follow whatever you're passionate about. And you don't really know what skills you need to learn or, what you need to study, or what direction you're going in, but you follow the passion in your heart, and that gives you more of what you need to know, and more of what you need to go on this overall long-term journey that you're going in. Oh, the sword, though, too, is also kind of about learning. It's a new beginning with learning something new, and the choice has actually already been made within. And I think this is just your permission to really start it externally. So recognize too, the light and the dark, what you don't know will actually empower you, especially when it comes to knowledge. And yeah, it'll give you more of the tools that you really, really need. Also, at the same time, okay, so I don't want to read the whole thing, but don't hesitate anymore. And know also at the same time what you need to cut out of your life. Decisions shape our destiny, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. So when light, cutting through to what is essential; when dark, hasty, backstabbing, a dull, painful blade. Okay, so yeah, know where to direct your energy and your focus, and you will find the most expansion. Direct it towards your heart and what's going to be really the most fulfilling to that. All right. Thank you, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius. So this is a new beginning with your ninth house, which your ninth house is all about your beliefs, your philosophies, your knowledge, your overall vision, and all the knowledge that you have to go on the quest that you're meant to go in. Knowledge is power. So the more that you open up your world to more knowledge, the more you can find that expansion out in the world. And I think this knowledge, maybe you are learning something new, maybe you are traveling, and you see the world in a different way. It can really help you break out of old limiting mindsets, or there's a debate going on with somebody and you can, they're maybe triggering you, like, do you know? And this can kind of plant seeds to more of a knowing, and you can get in touch with more of that knowing from that soul awareness, because we all really do know, if we don't constantly need to be on a journey of seeking externally. There is a lot of power with just listening to your soul here and what you already do know. And I like this sextile to Uranus in the 7th house, because that is aligning you with the right relationship. So you could kind of go on this quest of your knowledge and passions and this adventure, and more towards where your heart is calling you, and where your heart is calling you towards meaning and purpose in life. Amy, I swear to God, if you mess up my microphone, she's then let's see, Bimmy, no, Bimmy, turn that off. But yeah, where, that overall direction and the overall meaning and purpose in life that is actually soulfully aligned, that isn't aligned with that identity that you felt like you needed to become, because of, just like that false identity that we took on out of like wounding or out of, whatever past thing that wasn't actually more of our self. So this is a powerful way that, something can get triggered. So we recognize more of our deeper self, the unlimited self over here, and get beyond the mask, get beyond the ego that has actually been limiting us. Because when we get in contact with that, and let me make sure my mic is still running. Because when you get in alignment with that higher aspect of yourself that's unlimited, that just wants to let that creative force flow through you right now in a very easy and abundant way with Neptune in the 5th house, with Saturn too. But where you're releasing the old identity of what you thought was fun, and maybe what you thought was fun was what everybody else was doing versus, acting out of that place that's actually from your heart, which is what's joyful, like what raises your vibration, what makes you excited in life, and getting your identity from that, because that's how you'll unlock more of your creativity. And yeah, so your beliefs and your overall vision of where you want to go can get you to take a creative project really seriously. And you creating in general, you should be creating, can really liberate yourself and liberate more of your self-expression and liberate a lot of yourself that you didn't even, your unlimited self that you don't even know that you already have within you. So definitely get into your joy, get into your fun, get into creativity, go on that date, follow your heart and what really lights you up. So you open up your heart again, because that's really where the power is. And Mordwin came out. I like how there's like a tree of life on this card. So you might be having a mini awakening with this, with Jupiter in the 8th house too. Like could be a mini like Kundalini awakening even, that really kind of awakens you to, because that's what happens. Like when you're stuck in the lower chakras, which most people are, like the center one, the sacral and the root, like you're not in touch with what you're truly passionate about. It's when you have a Kundalini awakening and you awaken to more of your true self that's beyond the mask, is when you how to truly express yourself more, because you're more connected to your higher self, and you know what you're really passionate about, because that's the passion that never goes away. That's soul deep. It's not just like the ego calling for a thing. Okay, so Mordwin, you are the master of your destiny. Mordwin is an awesome character, hugely powerful and all-encompassing. He will open up doors, put people or situations in your path, which all lead to you living as your divine purpose. It is his responsibility to guide you to fulfill the contract you made in spirit before coming to earth for this incarnation. And that is totally the 9th house. These are planting seeds so you can do more of what you actually came here for, and to actually like live out your purpose. Coming to earth for this incarnation, he says, you are the power, accept it as your own. You are the master of your own destiny. His message is clear, so ignore him at your pearl. You have a job to do, so let's get on with it. You have the tools and the knowledge you need. Your self-doubt is hindering you. Your time is now. The world needs you to see your light. Step into your heart, and I will be on the journey with you. He continues, your role is to take your light out into the world with me as your guide. Together, we are the master creators. As you discover your life purpose, acknowledging your fears and self-doubt, but do not be bound by them, for they are clouding your truth. Follow your heart, feeling your way through truth and integrity. So yeah, you're going to find your purpose by getting into your heart, by getting out of your mind, and seeing the random connections that come your way and the random opportunities. And all you have to do is follow your passion, get into your heart, follow your excitement, and see where that takes you, because it's time to shine, and be more so on your Dharma timeline out in the world right now. And you just have to release all the fears and all the doubts and all the ways you stopped yourself in all the ways we always stop ourselves. Like you're not, we are always the ones getting in our own way. Like, it's just like, that's the common human thing. And I want to read the mask. So the mask, let's see if there's anything there. The persona, the performance, the reveal, we often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows the mask, or it allows. The mask gives a voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with others' voice, embody that other's lens. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception bending time. Trust it. So yeah, we don't actually really know who we truly are at that, until we start creating too, until we try on different masks, until we try on different ways of being, until we really follow our heart and really figure out what we do like. And then we get to how we're actually supposed to be embodied and what roles we're actually meant to be playing. So when light reveals what has been suppressed, when dark further conceals what is rejected. So it's time to not reject anything, follow your passion, and step into that role that you really want to step in. All right. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. All right, Capricorn. So this is a new beginning in your 8th house, and this is a complete transformation and letting go of any of the fears and internal blocks that have been blocking you. You can definitely be receiving some sort of trigger. And this might be a wound about money or your self-worth that really triggers, more of those denser emotions out of you. And that's like the shame, that's the guilt, that's the anxiety, that's the fears, anything that has really kept us in this lower ego role and putting on the mask that keeps us small, where we can recognize those triggers in a really deep and profound and feeling way with this full moon that will set you free. And all you need to do is bring awareness to it. So you get into your true heart in the depth of your soul, in the depth of feeling everything. So you don't have to, say label it. You don't have to say I'm this way because of that. I'm this way because of that. It was their fault. You just have to bring more self-love to yourself and more acceptance. We all have a shadow. We all have, stuff that we've gone through in life. And the only thing you need to do now is recognize what roles and identities that you have taken on in the past, however long, where you're actually having a rebirth right now with Saturn in Aries now, going through the dishwasher with Neptune. Like you and Aquariuses are majorly having a rebirth. With going back into Pisces, coming back into Aries, like it's time to release all the boundaries and all the identities and the roles and the ways of being that haven't really served you, so you can step into who you really want to be and into your full embodiment. Because with next year, more likely, with Saturn and Neptune that are moving into Aries for a brand new beginning with yourself and identity, and you being able to, be more so aligned with your higher self in that higher way of being, that can be a really powerful new start. So your only job right now is just to release, realize where you are holding on too tightly with emotions, with stories from the past, with, just ways of being that you thought you had to be for society's standards. The roles that you've taken on, the labels, like you have been falling in line with society so far, and you thought that was the mountain that you wanted to climb, but now you're getting in tune with the mountain that you want to climb from the inside of your being. You're getting in touch with your deep heart and your deep self, and you're being awakened in a very big way. So you can bring more unconditional love and acceptance to yourself and open up your heart and get in tune with this new wave being that you really want to be, because you're ready to build a mountain. You're ready to like be more in alignment with your destiny. And it's all about, just shedding, so you know that you already had it. You don't have to build towards anything. You don't have to achieve. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just have to know that you already have it. So I like Uranus in this sixth house. You can take on these innovative ways of self-love and self-care in the routines, in the diet, in the exercise, in the ways of working that are innovative, and they're setting you free and they really work for you. So let me read this. Serene. Serene, I am the lapping of the waves in the morning sun. Gentle flowing water in a warm summer breeze depicts this dragon's energy beautifully. Serene connects to the calm, resilient energy of the Mother Mary. So you can rest assured that life is going to settle down, especially if it has been rather turbulent of late. She says, I am the lapping of the waves in the morning sun. Allow me to wrap you in my blue cloak of tranquility and accept my presence as pure calm settles around you. When your inner perception shifts, so will your outer world experiences. I cannot overemphasize that. It's kind of insane. It's really insane. Like when you do the inner work, it is insane. It's so like how much you realize that you blocked your own self and got in your own way, and all of the blocks disappear. And the world is sparkly. So do not underestimate the shadow work. The shadow work is so powerful. And yeah, okay. So remember that the tranquility you seek lies within. The volatility outside scenario is only a mirror of the turbulence inside. Call upon me to guide you to that peace of heaven you crave. Observe your life experiences changing as they begin to mirror your inner feelings of serenity. She encourages us to go gently within ourselves. We are quick to nurture others, but we often neglect our own needs. We must feed ourselves with that which brings us joy and makes us feel alive. As we accept that we are important, our outer worldly experiences will reshape and shift the world in a positive way. Yeah, you're getting in tune with how important you really are. And when you do realize that and how powerful of a creator you are, you just give all of your power back. So any way that the world has seen a little chaotic or anything, you can find this new way of being so centered in your core that no matter what comes in the future, like you will be that core, that cold, shiny rock. Like I'm like using manifestor language, like that calm, shiny rock or whatever. Like in manifestor energy, when you're angry, like everyone else can tell and everyone gets scared. But when you're calm, you're like that calm, grounding mountain to everybody else that can ground everybody else. So yeah, this is all about doing the inner work and finding that peace and serenity within, so you can, just find more being. And that's going to be the way you are going to be the most powerful in this new era. So self-love, self-care, less looking externally, more all of this internally, and you can massively shed so much and get into that true embodiment. Anything else? Oh yeah, you should do identity work. Who is that higher self that you want to be now? Because that's the new beginning that you're getting in touch with now, and then going full force with in 2026. All right, thank you so much, Capricorn. Hi, Aquarius. So this is a new beginning in your relationships, and this can be a very powerful new beginning. Mercury is retrograde, so you are figuring out how you can go back and forth with your conversations and significant relationships. This is romantic, business, partnerships, clients, any significant relationship, you're kind of going back and forth and getting the information and seeing how you can move forward still. But this is a powerful new moon to set those intentions with how you want your significant relationships to be moving forward, and how you can be the most powerful in them. You might get triggered in some way from somebody, and that is them showing you where you can be more fully embodied, unapologetically. That's showing you where you haven't claimed your power, and that's the most important for you, because with Pluto in your first house, you are, you are connected to the collective's will, the divine will, and you are a very powerful force, and you're meant to be right now, but you need to open up and let that, whole creative force, like in that whole embodiment happen. So you would definitely get triggered, the most, but this is just so you really release whatever has holding you back. um, you're releasing your small self so you can allow more of your whole self to come through with more love, more compassion, more just acceptance. Um, I let's see, I wrote this down. Yeah, it's like you're recognizing your power that was always there within you, but you're only going to recognize your power if you're opening your heart back up. You're letting go of the dark and what's no longer serving you anymore, so you can open up in a more powerful way than you even did in the past. So you have the power ultimately, and whatever relationship comes your way is just showing you how you can be more powerful, and so you can set the story with what you want in your relationships moving forward. With this trying to Neptune and Saturn in the third house, there might be a way, something when it comes to your everyday life and the structure of your everyday life that you thought was empowering, but it was just like a identity or role or way of being that served everybody else and not necessarily you. You are finding the way that you can work in your everyday life that is going to be the most empowering for you, and that's really, really, really important to have a daily life that is in flow and just allows you to connect to your higher self. So you can just be more present, live in the present moment, shed that identity, shed the ways that you thought you had to be in your everyday life out in the world, so you can just let that divine inspiration hit and you can let those creative moments happen, and you can, write a blog or, creatively express yourself and just embody more of yourself in your everyday life. So, and I like this sextile to Uranus in the fifth house. This is kind of like, yeah, I don't know. This looks like a lot of fun. This looks like this could be a new beginning with a very significant relationship. If you're dating someone around right now, or if you meet somebody, it could be a very strong connection. So if you're single, definitely get out there. And before you get out there, get your story right with what you want to experience and align it with your heart, and know that soulmate connection that you want to have that is heart aligned and not from the ego. Like they have, looks matter, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to have that deeper soul connection for it to really, really last. So, yeah, you're breaking out of the box in a big way. But, and yeah, whatever relationship might come into your life right now, whether it is creative, or it is romantic, it can majorly kind of awaken you. The fifth house, you're having a creative awakening right now. This is awakening your creativity, your self-expression, your fun. You just want to be authentic with your fun. You want to, you want to express yourself and be authentic with the way that you're expressing. But the more that you can follow whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're curious about, whatever excites you, whatever opens up your heart and raises your vibration, you can break yourself out of whatever box that you were in, because this nice trine to Pluto in your fifth house this will let you go through this powerful transformation. Because with the fifth house, when you go after your creativity and you express yourself and you go after what you truly love, like that's what gives you the cojones to show up out in the world however you want to show up out in the world. And it allows you to attract in people that are, radiating at that higher vibration because you're doing what you love and you're following your heart. And, then you can only attract in those higher, frequency relationships and everything. So, yeah, powerful new moon to set your intentions with what you want in your significant relationships, of all kinds. What kind of clients do you want? What kind of business partners do you want? What kind of loving relationships do you want? And ask for fun, because the fun's going to break you out of the box in a really big way. And this is a seed that you're planting for your full-blown emergence. Oh my God. I love how this one came out for you and the seed, because the seed is like planting this, this is just a little taste of what the full-blown energy is going to be like from starting 2026 for the next like 10 years at least. This is the beginning, and you want to start it off with a bang, so you can be in that ultimate creator mode in creating a life and serving the people that are really meant for you, or you're living out your purpose, basically. Okay, so emergence. I'm going to read this. Okay, you are responsible for your life, your behavior, and your experiences, and more importantly, how you react to them. Sometimes, as spiritual beings, we find our human experience on earth can be quite tough. Listen to the wisdom of emergence. He says it's time to reflect. You need to take stock of what you value and what is important to you. Yes, most important thing with the North Node in the second house. And that's how you know where to put your time and your energy. Okay. Contemplation and quietness are required. Your experiences may have all been vexing, but it is unwise to dwell on them. You can learn from them, understand those you need to remember, and let all the others go. From this place, a new vibrant you can emerge. But first, you must allow yourself time to reflect, go within that inner place of peace, and bring forth which you wish to be. You are so powerful with doing that right now. This dragon appears when we need to take a long, hard look at ourselves and how we live, what we do, more harshly, our behavior. None of the dragons are a pushover. They all demand that we take stock of ourselves, stop kidding ourselves, and are openly honest. And emergence is no different. He gets straight to the nitty-gritty and informs you that you're responsible for your life, your behavior, and your experiences, and more importantly, how you react to them. Okay, he's a little repetitive. Remember, you are safe with me. Fears are no. So yeah, you're releasing a lot of fears. So you can just, be who you really want to be and work with and be with the people that you really want to be with or work with. And this is kind of like the beginning. I think you will find a lot of freedom with just expressing more of your authentic self and everything, and planting those seeds that you can follow that just excite you and uplift you and get you more into your heart. Because whatever relationships have been in the past, it doesn't matter. You're moving into a whole new chapter that is new, completely new. So you have to be open to the new and, the different relationships that are coming in. But yeah, this is the beginning. This is your origin story. So definitely have a powerful sense of what you want to experience and a powerful vision. And if you go within and do that inner work, you will be able to break out of the box or any boxes that have kept you limited and, have a full-blown emergence, like this dragon, nothing's going to hold this dragon back from becoming like a badass. And this is he's a baby dragon right now. This is just the beginning of it though. And yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Hi, Pisces. Okay. So this is a new beginning in the sixth house, which is your health, your diet, your routines, your exercise. This is also work. And you want to align with all of that, which you are really passionate about. A lot of self-love and self-care when it comes to your routines, and making sure that your routines are connecting to your higher soulful self and that higher your source, so you can kind of flow like a magical little fishy, towards everything that's really meant for you right now. So having diets and routines that keep you happy and uplifted and joyful, I would say, and aligned. It took me forever to learn the word alignment. I'm like, alignment and limit. Yeah, it's a spiritual word. But alignment is literally the number one thing. Feeling good is the number one thing. And the more that you can summon the, excitement in your everyday life, the more you can get aligned with what's really meant for you in a very natural, and who's meant for you in a natural, effortless, expansive way. So I like this sextile to Uranus in the fourth house. You're definitely shaking free from any limiting stories from the past. So you can really set a firm foundation that is really, authentic to you and liberating to you and letting you express more of your authentic self. In this trine to Neptune and Saturn, there can be a new way of making money that is very inspiring to you and very empowering, and more so in alignment with a bigger vision of oneness, possibly. It's that it might be for the collective, even. It's self-empowering to you, but it's also for the collective. And that's how you can maybe get this endless stream of abundance like flowing into your bank account. So spirit came out. Connecting with spirit is very, very important. And having more of that queen energy in your everyday life. The queen, with this opposition of Pluto, maybe you get triggered a little bit from something from the past, or, subconscious beliefs, recognizing where you kept yourself boxed in and not connected to spirit. Whenever spirit speaks, it's always out of unconditional love and happiness and joy and inspiration. And whenever you're letting your lower self or your ego get in the way, it's always like, you're stupid, like you can't do that, you can't do this, yada yada. And it's all about not letting that voice, because that voice is not you, and getting more in tune with spirit so you can be the most empowered with whatever you're creating in your everyday life and whatever you're working on, so you can make money, so you can have and be in the highest flow. Okay, so spirit, let's read spirit. But yeah, queen energy, she isn't always loved by everyone, but that's why she's a queen, is that you keep your heart open, you keep that unconditional love anyway, and you see where everyone's coming from, because the pawn has to cross the entire board and make it and go through a lot of trials and tribulations to become the queen. But that power of transformation too is very, very, very important. So this is a full moon of maybe shedding all the layers in when it comes to the way you go about your everyday life, so you can be that most empowered version of yourself that treats yourself like the queen. So spirit came out. You are truly awesome and your own creator. Spirit appears to us when we are gearing up for another steep learning curve on our spiritual path. He connects most strongly with those who have begun the work on themselves, and they are well and truly underway with their spiritual journey. His arrival frequently precedes those whose job it is to work the planet and humankind. The dragon spirit connects with those in a particular can't wait one sec. Okay. The dragon spirit connects with those in particular who have embarked upon this transitional journey of deep self-healing and deep understanding, and those beginning to recognize the bigger picture within the circle of life. He reminds us that everything is interconnected. There is no separation. There is no you all as a separate being. We're all one, all energy. So he swoops in. Call upon my energy to support you as you prepare for your next step of your amazing journey. You will go through a myriad of shifts and changes, self-doubt and euphoria as you embrace the next deep learning process. I am here to guide you with the spiritual shifts. So yeah, you're definitely having, just a big shift, and it could be with your perception. You could easily see how you can get more connected to spirit in a very powerful way in your higher self, and see how that can be such a powerful compass for you right now. And I love that. All right. Thank you so much, Pisces. I do want to read the Queen because I'm just feeling that urge, to read the Queen. So, the Empress, the mother, the Queen, the sovereign, like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contentious moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiance reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. So when light, the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, stillness. When dark, vain, wrathful, self-righteous, demanding. So yeah, it's important to be in that divine feminine energy that is in receptive mode, especially with the North Node in your first house. Like you have a lot of power with just having the trust and the faith and the connection with spirit to being the queen energy. And, you're getting back into the core of just who you really are and knowing that it's all going to be okay, even if stuff is a little shaky right now at home. That's the only thing that might be like, with this saying things might be shaky is Uranus in the fourth house. You're getting set up to be more so somewhere where you can be in your queen energy. All right. Thank you so much, Pisces. Hi, Aries. Okay, so this is a new beginning in your fifth house, which is your fun, it's your play, it's your self-expression, it's your creativity. And you can have a major heart-opening moment. Bimmy just started being super cute right now. You can have a major heart-opening moment where you're allowing more of your creative power to kind of flow through. Maybe you get tested from a friend though. With Pluto in the 11th house, there might be some fears with achieving your hopes and your dreams and your visions for the future. Or like you're like, what will they think? Can I really do that? And maybe not all your friends like what you really want to do, but you gotta really follow your heart. You gotta follow your passion. You gotta follow your creativities. And when you do that, then you'll find who you're truly meant to be aligned with out in the world. Because you can be very powerful, you can be very influential, but it's all about getting in tune with your true heart and your true inner self-expression to be the most powerful. That's the way because you'll know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're following your heart. And you won't care as much about, anybody not liking it or getting anybody else's approval or anything like that. Because I like with Uranus in the third house bringing a lot of like authentic, like exciting new ideas or a very authentic way of communicating and speaking your truth. That can be very, very inspiring and very, very future forward and innovative. And then, yeah, the trine to Saturn and Neptune in your first house, you are becoming that higher version of yourself. And in order to do that, you got to release all the old roles or identities or ways of being that aren't serving you, so you can step into that new role that is that dream role and allows you to manifest your biggest vision possible. So the riddle came out. I think you're getting in tune with spirit in a way, and spirit kind of sends you signs and synchronicities so you go in the right direction. But the riddle is that inner knowing. Let me read the riddle actually. That inner knowing, and how spirit really speaks to us. The riddle. The puzzle, the question, the mystery. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, the logic to the mythic. You are thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when the energy is deep and mysterious. And like the wisdom of Zen koan, Focus harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. When feels like the most pressing dilemma, what reveals is deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with it. With the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing, it may in fact be the only reality there is. So actually, you need to get into your fun and your enjoyment and your excitement so you can understand what you actually do need to understand, because Uranus in your third house, there's universal truths that want to enter your brain, but you don't really know until you kind of get enough information. And sometimes to have that complete breakthrough to the universal truth, you have to find a couple things to kind of bring it all together. And I think that's kind of what's happening right now. So don't worry really about the end goal or where you're going. Just plant these seeds for creating. And if you want to create something, start creating it, because this can be really, really powerful. And you don't really know how like a project is going to end up or how music is going to end up, social media page. Yeah, you just have to create, and that's how you discover your self-expression. So follow your excitement, follow your passion, and really see where that takes you. And if you're dating somebody during this new moon, this could be a very, very nice new beginning, actually. And if you're in a relationship, this is a great time to, have more fun, passion, and authentic communication in your relationship. Okay, because with Avery Mark Matriarch that came out, I almost said that completely wrong. I might have still. But you are getting in touch with the your ancestral healing on your mother's side. And maybe where your mother held back her creativity, where she didn't put it out into the world, or any of the ways that your mother could have stood up a little bit more strongly or powerfully, and kind of going through and breaking herself free from those ancestral chains, which you're definitely going through right now with Jupiter in your fourth house. I think there's a way that you're breaking free yourself and you don't even understand how. You just have to follow your heart, open up your heart and follow your passion so you can be bolder out in the world. So this is very important area. People underestimate it. They just think fun, passion, whatever, like the fun area of life. But it's really, really important. And it's how you can be that bolder version of yourself. And you don't have to know where you're going long term. You just have to know the right now. All right. Thank you so much, Aries. Hi, Taurus. So this is happening in your fourth house. So this has to do with your home and your family and your foundation. And this could be a major release, of the past, of old stories. You could be shining a light on things and really getting deeply in tuned with what happened in the past and with the way with how you grew up or whatever story of the past that isn't really serving you anymore, but it's giving you some sort of emotional awareness with how you can get back into your inner child and maybe go back into the past and love that tiny version of yourself and send yourself more love and compassion so you can have that for yourself, so you can allow yourself to be that more radiant version of yourself out in the world. Did I say that twice? Okay. And maybe there's somebody triggering at work or just out while you're out and about doing your thing that triggers this wound. Love it. Love the trigger. It will make you more powerful. This is bringing awareness to exactly the thing that you need to release. So you tell yourself a more empowering story, a story that is coming from your soul and not this limited ego that you put on just to survive or just to feel like you needed to prove or persuade or any of that. You're getting more into that unlimited version of yourself at the core of your being and at the center of who you truly are, so you can be radiant from the inside out. So with the trine to Saturn and Neptune, you're also, just shedding the layers of the ways you kept yourself in the limiting mind programs, the ways of self-sabotage or limiting beliefs. not limiting beliefs, just limiting subconscious things that kept you small, that didn't allow you to be in flow with that higher version of yourself, because you have direct access to that higher version of yourself. And it is really powerful to maybe go hermit mode for this full moon, to really listen to that, higher brilliant voice of yours and have that deeper connection with your soul passion. So you can plant the seeds for this internal foundation that's really, really going to serve you. Um, and also, if you want to beautify your home, this is a perfect time to throw a bunch of stuff away, make your home really cute, and, make it a place where, home is where the heart is, where you can really shine and where you can radiate and really plant those deep roots so you can be powerful out in the world. And this nice, sextile to Uranus, there can be, breakthroughs with your self-worth. You can elevate your self-worth massively, or there could just be you focusing on a soul project and planting the seeds so you can really start this could be easily a home business. And you like laying on the couch scrolling and you see something online and people making money in a way that's actually really easy, and like bam, okay, more money coming in. You got to be innovative with Uranus in the second, so money can come in from all different directions. So if you see something like that, definitely follow your curiosity and see how, multiple streams of income can constantly be flowing into your life in a very abundant way. But also, you getting in tune with your true higher self will boost up the way you express yourself out in the world in a more authentic and magnetizing way. So emergence came out, you're emerging, and this one came out for Aquarius too. Intensity, like there can be definitely intensity that is triggering you, but this is so you emerge as this new version of you. It is a baby version of you, but we're planting the seeds so you can be that powerful force out in the world. Pluto's going to be here for a while. So you're meant to be very powerful out in the world. And this is just the beginning of that, but you're letting yourself emerge, and you already know who you're emerging into. It's just all about kind of connecting with yourself. So a lot, you have that vision, and you have that vision of that higher version of yourself that is emerging, out of self-love and not emerging out of any victim stories or any fantasies or old identities and all of that. Okay, so we're going into the underworld. The nightmare, the ordeal, the bottom. There is no time to mince words. The archetypal terror of the underworld is fraught with nightmares, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm in which we vigilantly avoid or deny at all costs. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through disturbing dream images. Why did the underworld come out anyway? Because a lot of people are scared of the 12th house if you haven't done the inner work. But if you have and you're not if you're not scared, I almost sounded like a rugrat. Scared, like if you haven't connected to the unlimited, and if you're not afraid to connect with the unlimited, then this can be really fun, Okay, through disturbing dreams. Yeah, you could be releasing a lot through dreams. I've been having crazy dreams. Maybe it is because of my Taurus stuff. Unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, ultimate death, not visiting underworld, or denying its existence altogether is what gives it its dangerous power. Yeah, you have to be in tune with the darkness to not give the darkness power. To bow humbly to a greater force that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated, take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, makes us deeper friends, intimate partners, soldiers of light, amidst our shadowy times, facing darkness, all choosing light, the most profound calling of all. So when light, bravery, depth, facing the deepest fears, when dark, denial, suppression, evil, unconscious. So yeah, you might be getting the unconscious triggered or the dark triggered in a big way. But when you just bring awareness to this, like it is so important because yeah, it's when you don't bring awareness to it, like your life can go completely the wrong direction and then you have to face it eventually. So definitely do the inner work, face the fears, find that inner light in that core that wants to radiate out in the world, feel your feelings, and it'll all go really, really well. Um, and you know, you can work on passion projects to help, like or journal, you know, work on, you know, do the shadow work, have a dream journal maybe, and that can kind of get you in touch with this area. Meditation, you know, getting in tune with your heart and having a lot of gratitude, releasing the past, that can all really, really help. All right, thank you so much, Taurus. All right, Gemini, I love this. For your They are planting seeds for your everyday life. The third house is your everyday life. It's how you think, it's how you speak, it's how you communicate, it's who you connect with on a daily basis, it's social media. And you can have a big, brilliant social media boost. You know, maybe this is a way you're getting more in tune with your passion and where your heart is calling you. And there is a whole new hope, dream, and vision that you could be getting in connection with. It's right outside. I gotta get her inside. There's seeds that you're planting for your everyday life that can set your day off right, you know. Journaling it right in the morning can connect you to your higher self. You know, doing social media in a completely different way that is empowering can be really helpful. But your the way that you can connect to your highest self on an everyday life and, you know, just have more fun, joy, excitement, that's how you can connect to your higher self and kind of live more so from that soulful place versus from the ego. And I think, you know, affirmations in general, robotic affirmations can be really, really powerful during this time. But the threshold came out, and you might be seeing something as taking a leap, especially with Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 11th house. There can be like really a bold, courageous way of being out in the world, or a goal or a vision that you want to go after, that maybe you do have to take the lead and go first. Aries is all about the spark, the first one to go. And maybe you're seeing a way of doing this, but maybe you have to completely show up out in the world in a completely different way. And this moon is encouraging you to do it. You know, you just have to have the right mindset. Because Uranus newly in your first house too. It's like saying your being, your identity, who you are, you have to be rebellious now. And you get to, or not rebellious, but you have to be authentic at least. And being authentically you will set you free. Freedom is calling, you know, and you feel it, you know exactly what you need to do actually. And it's just about getting the confidence to really take that leap. So with the sun opposite Pluto, maybe there's something triggering when it comes to a belief system, a certain way of viewing the world. Could be even a teacher that might be triggering you and your mentality. And this is how you can kind of go through an evolution and have more powerful beliefs about what you really want to manifest out in the world and the way you want to live your everyday life and what you really want to leap towards. Because ultimately you're going after that freedom of expression. And with the North Node in Pisces in your 10th house, you're meant to take creative risks and leaps. And you can only do that when you're really following your heart and, you know, listening to that higher soulful essence of you. And you will be rewarded. There is a guarantee you will be rewarded, but it is always scary to, you know, be at the threshold and not really know what's on the other side of that. But know that there is a lot of freedom. So this is a powerful new moon to really have, you know, set up daily practices that get you into who you truly authentically are, you know, get you connected to your heart and living life in a way in your everyday life that is more heart opened, with unconditional love, with wanting to share like more of your gifts and your talents and more of the way you want to speak and more of your authentic self in your everyday life with no apologies. As long as it's uplifting and, radiating and lifting everybody up, you can go on that courageous journey. So this can be a new beginning for writing, speaking, a social media post, or doing things differently on social media, doing things differently in your everyday life that you can start now that can help you to show up out in the world in a way more authentic way that feels super, super freeing, and you're ready to be free. And it's allowing you to really release any identities or ways of being out in the world that actually, weren't you. You're ready for a bigger, more amplified, eccentric identity and to break through all the boxes. And it's all about allowing yourself to do it. All right. Thank you so much, Gemini. Hi, Cancer. Okay, so this is a new beginning in your second house. This is your finances. This is what you value. This is your self-worth. And this is just the material stability that you need. And sometimes this could deal with significant relationships too, because that is, who you have in your everyday life, that is stability. And there can be a powerful new beginning with this, where you're getting into more of your true soul's calling, more of your purpose, to find that alignment with what you're doing out in the world, because what you're getting aligned to do some bigger things out in the world, to follow your imagination and your inspiration and that bigger vision, and to be really empowered with it. But the best way that you're going to be empowered with doing it is by embodying more of yourself. It's less about trying to control the current structures and feeling like you need to fight what is or even compete. You just need to get more so into your creativity and more embodiment. And then that will like show you the highest path to show up out in the world in a way that is the most authentic to you, that isn't going to limit you in any way. Oh, let me help me, Kitty. I think this is a big new beginning with like following your heart and focusing on what you really love, what you really value, because that's going to lead you into this higher direction of being who you really want to be out in the world and making that money. So that can be just a powerful heart alignment to, open up to more faith and trust in your higher self and your own personal evolution, to go in the right direction. And with Uranus in the 12th house, yeah, you could be majorly breaking through subconscious fears or limitations that have been stopping you from showing up out in the world in a bolder way that is authentically you. It's not you trying to copy anybody else. It's not you trying to fit into any role. It's you evolving beyond the system by embodying your higher self, creative self, and just being out in the world and allowing yourself to be, and that you already have it. You don't need to earn anything. You already have everything that you need inside of you. And you are worthy. You are love. And you just have to have that self-love, that abundance of self-love, to really attract everything that you want for that financial security out in the world. So I love this. It's an amazing time for you because Jupiter is in your first house. And there's so much room to expand into, the right career opportunities, or the right, relationships, just a whole lot of things that can really come into your life that expand you and take you to the next level. But it's all about that faith and the trust and, just knowing that you're ready. You're ready to expand. You're ready to go to whatever next level. And also, with Uranus in the 12th house, you could receive just, lightning bolts of breakthroughs that break you out of any subconscious limitations, but at the same time, they awaken you, so you're awakening from more of your true authentic self, and you could be perceiving the world in a completely different way. And that only happens if you've gone through an awakening, like one day you just get that lightning bolt and you're just like, wait, like this, and my entire life, I've been seeing everything this way, and it has never ever been like that, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting that you might be going through. Okay, because the fault line came out. Fault line. So the fissure, the crack, the weak link. Imagine walking across the frozen lake begins to crack before your own eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You may become fearful and tense, longing for stable ground, such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this crack open is overdue. The fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressure. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that is afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for the change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. So when light redefine reality, breaking open. When dark, precarious, pretending delusion. So no, accept the awakening, like ride the awakening. It is fun. It is exciting. And you just got to let it happen, you know? And then there's so much more freedom on the other side when you let your reality fully shift. And then singled. Let me see what singled is about. Pretty dragon. Okay, so do that which lifts your heart to bring forth your deep inner smile. Oh, and also with the fault line, maybe you've been trying to people please too much. Maybe you've been trying to emotionally keep everybody comfortable. And you've been trying to keep things like safe and comfortable like that, or you've been spending too much time on worries or fears. Now is like, don't worry about that. Now is just time for you to focus on you and to be more so in that full embodiment unapologetically. And whoever likes it is going to like it, and whoever doesn't isn't going to like it, you know? Oh, yeah, with the Pluto in the 8th house, that's why. So, yeah, there's intensity when it comes to fears and doubts and just other people's projections. Let that trigger you. Let that trigger you. So it makes you more bold. It makes you more empowered. It makes you more open-hearted. So you can know why you're doing it, and you don't have to, as long as you know why you're doing it, you don't have to rely on anybody else's approval, you know? Okay, so singled, the dragon of gratitude. He arrives when we need to take notice of and acknowledge old negative patterns. He asks us to recognize the old emotional blocks. For example, we can be in self-doubt, fear, or jealousy. He has these words to say about gratitude. Review your life today and find things you are grateful for. Yeah, gratitude is just releasing you from everything. And it's time to just focus more so on the new and what you're happy about, instead of letting any kind of fear or guilt or any envy from others like hold you back from anything that you really, really want to do. Because I think you're feeling this powerful urge to go do something new and to kind of take the lead and to kind of live in a very bold, unapologetic way from your passions. And it's time to do that. You know, no more walking on eggshells. It's really time to just do whatever lifts your heart. It makes you smile at the end of the day. It makes you feel beautiful and radiant out in the world. And yeah, you're learning all the right lessons at the right time. But as long as you can live in the now and the present moment, and live from that more embodied, like grateful version of yourself, then you are going in the right direction. So I think practicing gratitude can really help. And yeah, that's what I got for you, Cancers. All right. Thank you so much.